Hello to you. Here we are, you and me. We're doing this thing, this YouTube thing. Thank you for joining me. My name's Giuseppe. This is my super badass channel, Old Soul Essentials, and it is going to take the world by storm. We'll see about that. Anyway, today I'm going to do a actual short video. I say that every video and it ends up being like 10 hours long. So, and I'm also going to do something a little this isn't going to be like a philosophical, self-improvement type of thing. This is very specific and a little practical technique method sort of thing. So this is for the guys. If you are trying to ask a girl out, a total stranger, cold approach, this is my advice. This is my personal technique. And I'm going to lay out the rough steps, and you can take it. I would say make it your own. You can tweak it and dial it in just the way you want it. You don't have to follow the steps exactly. Like I said, just make it your own. But here's the gist of it. When you cold approach a girl, the best and easiest and quickest way to ask them out is to say, "Are you seeing anyone?" That's asking them out without actually asking them out. So you're accomplishing a couple things by asking them out in that way. Number one, my light to my right just died, and that's okay because I've got all these other lights. And number one again, when you say, "Are you seeing anyone?" most people are very sympathetic. They're very empathetic, guys and girls, some to different degrees, but for the most part, everybody wants to be pretty cool to their fellow human being. They don't want to cause them any pain if they can avoid it. So when a guy asks a girl out, if she's not interested or if she's taken, she does not typically delight in rejecting him. She knows it's going to bum him out and how hard it can be to ask someone out. And she'd rather not put a guy through that, but she has to because you've put her on the spot. So when you say, "Are you seeing anybody?" that's kind of giving her an easy out. If she really is seeing someone, she can just say yes, and then you've got your answer and you know she's taken and you can walk away. With just a little bruise, a teeny tiny bruise, instead of a big bruise when you do the full-on official question in the form of like, "Would you like to go out sometime?" or "Can I get your number?" Like directly, literally asking them out. Maybe it's just me, but I really feel like there is a major difference in the feeling when you get rejected in that way. And it's easier for her, I think, and it's easier for you if you say, "Are you seeing anybody?" Because you didn't really ask her out, right? You're just asking if she's seeing anybody. You could just be asking for conversation. We all know you're not. She knows you're not. She's not brain dead, and you know you're not. You have a goal in mind. She's the target. That's your objective. So it's easier for you. It's easier for her when you say to a girl, "Are you seeing anybody?" She's going to know that you're interested. And she's going to know that if she says no, that you are next, you're going to say, would you like to do something? Or would you like to go out sometime? Or can I get your number? She knows that's what's going to come if she says no. There might be some instances where a guy is legitimately just asking that for the hell of it, but I don't know what guy is and why he would be doing that. Unless it's just a gay guy, I guess, and he just wants to spark conversation and talk to this girl about her love life. I don't know. You get the point, though. So that's the way you want to ask her out. That's the question you want to ask because it saves you both some time. Now, as far as approaching her, you just walk up. There's no other way, right? You see the girl, she looks cute. That's all you know, because that's what cold approaching is. Maybe you can hear her voice from across the room. Okay, so she's got a nice voice, she's cute. I'm interested in this girl. So you walk up to her. First thing you do, greet, like any stranger. Greet them. Say, hi, how's it going? How are you? What's up? If your style is to compliment first, if a compliment is your greeting, you can do that. You could just walk up and say, hey, I like those shoes you're wearing. That could kind of count as a greeting. Or you walk up, or you could ask for, you could kind of fake a little bit. You could ask for directions. You could walk up and say, hey, I'm trying to find this place. You know where it is? But you got to have some sort of initial greeting. The first thing out of your mouth should be very non-threatening. I mean non-threatening as in like you don't want to put her on the spot immediately. So do the greeting, say hi, hello, hey, what's up, whatever, however you want to put it, or just some little fairly, low-key, innocent kind of comment. I like your shoes, I like your shirt, your hair looks good, whatever. And then for me, I would say something silly, goofy, or funny that's not really a joke, as in like something you have to set up and say a bunch of lines and get those lines right, and then deliver the punchline and hope it lands. A much easier thing to do is just say one short, quick, one-liner funny thing. And one thing that I've found is easy and will kind of get anybody at least smirking, if not a little chuckle, is especially if you're a guy approaching a girl after you've said, hey, hello, or whatever, or I like your hair. Then you say, maybe turn to the side and be like, do you think these pants make my butt look big? Or something like that. Or I don't know. You get the idea though. Something goofy, something silly. Maybe if there's people nearby, you know, make fun of somebody's hair or something, or say that guy, just be arbitrary. You could just some lady walking by that totally is like a normal looking lady, like that lady looks kind of like a gopher, doesn't she? I mean, almost non sequitur, you know what I mean? You get the idea. Say something, anything that's just kind of funny or silly or goofy to break that tension. So you've greeted, you've been funny, you broke the tension a little bit. The idea here is to ask her out and not waste your time or her time, because she might be taken for all you know. So you don't want to postpone the asking out and put all this effort into striking up a long conversation and building rapport and asking her 10 million questions and talking about yourself and asking her about her and talking about the trees or the weather, just a little bit. You could talk about the weather for 2 seconds, but whatever you do, walk up, greet, compliment, or say something funny, or talk about the weather, say anything that kind of takes the attention off of you and off of her and off of the awkward moment that you guys are having, to help diffuse that tension, and then cut straight into it. Be like, hey, I was wondering if you're seeing anybody. That way you don't waste. I mean, let's say you do the technique of trying to get into some long conversation, and maybe she's taken, but she just is caught off guard, and you're asking some interesting, stimulating questions, and she's like, whatever, just kind of shooting the shit with you and having fun chatting with you for 20 minutes, even though she's taken and suspects maybe you're interested, but you're just maybe being a friendly guy, and maybe you're not going to ask her out. So yeah, 20 minutes goes by and you've been having this long conversation, and then finally you're like, hey, could I get your number? And she's like, well, actually, I have a boyfriend. You just wasted 20 minutes. So like I said, when you say, are you seeing anybody? Even if she's not, she can just lie and say, yeah, I am. And that's an easy way for her to reject you, because she doesn't really want to hurt your feelings. She's a decent person, and which most people are. And if she's not seeing anybody and you ask that question, she's going to say no, and she's already going to know you're interested, and she's going to know that when she says no to you after you've asked her if she's seeing anyone, that you're probably going to ask her out. So when you say, are you seeing anyone? And she says no, that's your green light. And then you can be like, well, hey, would you like to do something sometime? It just makes it easier. That's my take on it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Something for the guys. And that is geared specifically for a man asking out a woman. But you can kind of use that sort of method to meet anybody, really. If you're a guy and you just don't have a lot of friends and you're in a new town and you want to meet some people, you can go up to some dude and be like, hey, how's it going, man? And then say something stupid. Be like, you go up to him and you say, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, I'm all right. And then you say, you know what? I've been playing Mario 64 and I can't get past the third level. Dude, have you ever played Mario? Just, I don't know, come up with anything. Just breaking that tension with something a little bit silly. Do the funny thing. Do the environment thing. Be like, what do you think of that tree over there? That's a pretty cool looking tree, huh? And then just one thing leads to another. Little thing's a stepping stone. If you're a girl approaching a guy, you can do the same thing. Hey, what's up? I like those shoes. So do you think I'd look good with an afro? You know, that that's it. That's all I got. See you next time. Much love to you. Namaste. Don't be afraid. Go. And so I guess one other afterthought with the cold approach for you guys out there trying to meet a girl. When you see her, maybe give yourself a brief moment to like work your courage up and feel out the vibe. You know, give your spidey senses a chance to kick in. Maybe some unknown little unseen energy thing will happen and you'll get some sense that maybe you should just move on and ask someone else out. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is give yourself that little moment to contemplate it for just a second, but no longer than that. when you see her, give yourself a moment to be like, hey, she's cute. I'm thinking about it. I'd like to. I'm going to. And then when you're sure about it, do not hesitate any longer. Don't stand there and just keep staring while you're debating internally. Ah, oh, she might reject me. She might not, but she might. And that would suck if she does. Can I do this? And you're just standing there, and what's happening is the longer you stand there and stare at her, two things are happening. Number one, the longer you stand there and look at her, and even if you're not staring, but the longer you're standing there and you keep glancing or looking, or maybe you are staring because she's really beautiful, the longer you stand there and stare without going up to her, the more you look kind of weird. And the more you kind of feel weird. And the more pressure you will feel. Every second that you postpone it, that you put it off, what's happening is the pressure of that interaction, of that moment that's about to happen when you approach this stranger. I know how it is. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about how it's going to go. You're analyzing. You're getting stuck in paralysis. You're starting to obsess already because you're so freaked out. You're paranoid that, you know, it sucks getting rejected. So what's happening is every second that you are standing there considering what you're about to do, it's slowly growing and growing and growing. The dauntingness of that cold approach, the scariness of it, it's scary at first, but you want to do it like a band-aid. Just once you're sure you want to ask her out, go right up to her. Don't waste any time. That's the other thing, is you don't want to waste any time. Like, time is the most precious thing. You're going to die eventually. You've only got so much time on this planet. Why would you want to spend any extra time just sitting there freaked the fuck out about asking this girl out? Just get it over with. Then you can move on to the next girl or the next activity or part of your whatever it is you're doing in your life. You can go ask her out and then go get lunch. You don't want to stand there for like 10 minutes being like, oh, dude, just get it over with. Because like I said, it's that the dauntingness and the scariness of it, the longer you wait, it's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And you've been standing there for like 5 minutes now. And now it is just this massive, totally intimidating wall that has just blown up in your head. And it's going to be that much harder to get over that threshold and bring yourself to just A, walk up to her, and B, start talking to her, and C, ask her out. You want to nip it in the bud. You see her, think about it for a moment. You're like, all right, I want to ask this girl out. Before you've even got a chance to be scared shitless, before you want to be preemptive with that fear before you can even get freaked out. Just go right up to her, like, hey, how's it going? I like that shirt you're wearing. What do you think of my shirt? Just be awkward and goofy and silly, and be like, do you think I'd be a good tap dancer? Do I look like somebody that would be a good tap dancer? Just something totally stupid and silly, and she's gonna smirk and chuckle, and then be like, I'm just kidding. You say, I'm just kidding, and then say, I was wondering if you're seeing anybody. She'll give you a yes, she'll give you a no, hopefully a no. Then you say, would you like to do something? Can I get your number? I don't want to take up all your time. You could say that too, like, especially if they're working. say, you know, hey, I don't want to take up all your time, but I was just wondering if you're seeing anybody. I'll give you one example, and then I'm gonna cut this video off because it's probably like an hour long by now. The last time I cold approached a girl was at a Walmart, and she was very beautiful, and she was tall, and like any guy cold approaching any girl, it was very scary and intimidating. But I knew that, and I'm standing there looking at her for about a minute, and then I'm realizing, like, all right, you're looking weird now. Even though I was far away and she probably never would have noticed me, it's like, all right, this is starting to get weird for you, and you're starting to psych yourself out. Go up to her, get it over with. That way you can be done with it. And the other thing about getting it over with quickly is, while you're in that moment of, while you're on the cusp, that's a lot of pressure. That's weight that you're carrying. Like, oh, I want to ask her out, but she might say no. That's not a fun place to be. So go ask her out and get it over with. So that way you're like, ah. Even if she says she's seeing someone, even if you get rejected, at least you're not in that space of like being totally freaked out and psyched out. So that's what I did. I was like, all right, just go get it over with. So I walked up to her. She was working on some clothes in the women's section, and I went up, and I think the first thing I did was I got a dress off the rack, kind of like right next to where she was working. And I said, hey, how are you? Like, how do you think this dress would look good on me? Do you think this one look good, or do you think this other one would look better? And I was deadpan, and I think she kind of took it seriously at first, but she kind of was like, I think she kind of knew I was joking, and then I quickly was like, I'm just kidding. And then I said, so I don't want to take up all your time, but I was just wondering if you're seeing anybody. And she said, yes. And then I walked away. And the sting of a rejection in that way is not as bad as directly asking them out. Saying, are you seeing anyone, is asking them out without asking them out. Try it. So that's all I got for you today. And I don't know if I said it already, but this can be a way to not ask out, but greet and break the ice with anybody, guy, girl, guy on guy, girl on girl, even just in a platonic situation. I think I said that. But I tried making this video. This is my second take. I was in the middle of recording this video, and YouTube started playing on my damn phone, like while I was recording, and it was Alan Watts. There was Alan Watts at the end of my video. So I couldn't remember exactly what I said in that first video or what I didn't say in this one. Anyway, I'm done now. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, or I'm gonna come after you. Namaste. Be well, whoever you are, wherever you are. Much love to you. Bye.